Alright guys, here in Ahwatukee, Arizona, which is down below South Phoenix, sort of by Tempe, South Phoenix. We have a toilet here, and the customer had another plumber here, said he fixed it, but it's still leaking. Got water back here, a little bit of water on the floor. You can see all kinds of water down here along the edge. So I checked it out, came up under here. So you can see how nasty and corroded everything is down here. And it looks like it's leaking right here. Right in between here. Let's see if we can get a shot of way up in there. It's a tank to bowl. Way back in there, there's a drip. Just a small little bit of running water back in there. And so I took a look at this toilet, try and see if maybe it's worth rebuilding. But I don't think it is, because you can see these gaskets here. Everything's real corroded down in here. And this is a real old toilet, and it's a round bowl. You can see this tower is also broken right here. So we're not going to bother rebuilding it. We're just going to give them a Kohler and a Kohler elongated. So we're going to work on getting this all drained down and getting him replaced. So we're going to first shut the water off here. Got a angle stop here, shut it off. And then we're going to flush the toilet, get most of the water down the drain, first of all. Take this out of here. There we go. We'll get that all out of there, and then we'll crank on our shop vac. I'm a big fan of using the shop vac instead of using a cup or a turkey baster or something. You can certainly do that. I just don't do that. I don't really have the time to play games like that. So you can see down in here. So, since this is clean toilet water with no solids in it, then we're okay to dump it right in here. Right into the tub. You can do this if you want to. You certainly don't have to, but it ain't gonna hurt nothing. Nope. Got that. shop vac's kind of loud. I don't mind using it at all, even though it's a little bit loud. So we're going to get this, take this off of here, and we're going to replace it with a steel nut here. Cleaned off. This angle stop actually does work just fine. It's got a little bit of corrosion on the outside, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I'll pop these caps off. Yep, look at this. Looks like someone recently siliconed this because it's still wet. So whoever the other plumber was, he did something real funky here. I have no idea what it is, but whatever he did, it wasn't right. I'll tell you that. 100%. So we're not gonna do anything like that, what he did. So we're gonna try and loosen these. Make sure that they loosen. And look at how loose this nut is. If you can see this. You can see that thing wobbling. So that's just a bad job all around. So that's not gonna be us. I'm gonna take all that off. Take this other one off. Alright, so we've got both nuts off here. There we go. So now we're going to pull the toilet. Whew. Really smash that thing down. And this, I'll take a look at this here. If you can see this, you can see how loose that is. That's not good. Alright, so we're gonna bring it out here outside, and let's keep an eye on this flange here, because this is where most of our work's gonna be. Okay, so now we're gonna scrape all this away. Man, really did a number on this here. Let's see what he did. Oh man. can see, all of this here, it all needs to be chiseled away. So we'll shop back all this up also. It does need to be chiseled. It's grouted in or mortared in. Oh man, this guy really didn't care about nothing, did he? So we're probably gonna have to replace this flange also, because it looks like trash. Now be careful with this. You don't want to break the tile. And be careful, it's sharp, it's like glass. Okay, we'll grab a repair flange. Alright, so I'm going to cut this sucker out of here so you can see how rotted this guy is here. Just kind of really needs to come out of here. So we're going to use some snips to just cut right through it if we can get a good grip on it. I mean, I don't know if this is actually what you're supposed to use, but this is what I've always used. So, yeah, I'm just making these videos to show you what I've always used. Let me shop back some of this out. Find a spot that seems like it's, there we go. Trying to get it out of there, man. It's Almost. There we go, got that part. See if I can get down, bear down on it here. Just this little section, almost got it. There we go, almost got it here. One little section here that give me a little bit of a problem. You can also use like a saw, a sawzall. There's some other things you could use if, you know, if it's real rust, it'll just come back out. Maybe I'm picking the wrong spot. Maybe that's, I need to pick a spot that's a little more compromised, because this thing is, man, it's really rusting through there. And the reason why I'm using the snips and I don't want to use a sawzall, is just because the sawzall, I don't want to cut anything else out. I don't want to cut this ABS. I'm going to try and watch it. There we go, I think it's almost there. But you gotta get this old one off, no matter what you have to do, you gotta get it off. There we go. Okay. So I don't necessarily want to use my hands for it because it is so sharp. It's starting to move around a little bit. That's pretty good. It really doesn't want to come out of here, does it? Maybe I should use some bigger channel locks. Another thing you could do, you could take a grinder and cut it in a few spots, and you could probably get it up that way. But the only drawback to a grinder is that it kicks up a lot of dust, and just particles and stuff, and so you don't really want to do that unless you have the space for that and you're in a location where it's okay. See, it's just kind of chipping around here because it wants to come out, but that's okay. So you know what, actually? We may need to do that anyway. Because, so we're just going to score around this just a hair. Open it up a little bit for the new one. So the thing about tile, as long as you just score it, you can carve it out pretty much to any shape that you want. So let's see if that will get us out of there. Break it off here, at least this part. Alright. And then maybe we can round this all the way to here. So it's very loose on that side. There we go. Whew. Alright. Now that we got it all out, man. Let's open it up a little bit for the new flange. So once we shop vac it all, put the new flange in, just get some of this mortar out of here, so that a new flange will just snap right in with no problem whatsoever. So the kind of flange I like to use is stainless. It's a 409 stainless steel, and it's got 2 screws, one on each side. Oops, don't want to drop that down the drain. And these are very, very short screws too, so you don't put these in till last. And everything is stainless, not only the flange but also the screws. And so this style, it can be mounted to the concrete, but it doesn't, the holes are just for added support. It's got this lip right here that's gonna grab underneath here, and that's what's gonna keep it from pulling up. And so we're gonna slide that under there and slide this inside of here first. And we're just dry fitting right now. We're not set in stone at all. We're just kind of setting it where we know we're gonna need it. Moving it around a little bit, make sure that and so we want, oops, see if we can get it in there. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we don't want to tighten these all the way just yet. You want to get them in there and get them started, but you don't want them tightened completely yet until you know exactly where you want it. We're going to move it around. And what we're looking for, if I can get this one started, there we go. What you're looking for is these two slots, you want to be exactly lined up perfectly with here. So I'm going to mount the screws first. I guess I shouldn't call them screws, they're actually bolts. Mount the bolts first. Put one up under here. One here. And these, if you notice, these are exceptionally long bolts, just because I don't want to have a problem with, we got to cut them down anyway. I don't want to have a problem with anything ever being too short, so typically I use like 3-inch bolts. You don't have to do that. I mean, you can use whatever you want. You know, I just choose to do that. You can use whatever length you want. Okay. So when I'm gonna tighten, I make sure to not only tighten this nut, seat it all the way against this hole here. Make sure we're there. Yep, I'll make sure we're all the way inside of there. Tighten it by hand first, and then I'm gonna back it up down here low and give it just one good snug. And as long as you don't destroy it, you're not gonna rip these threads apart or anything. They'll be fine. So we're gonna do that one, and then we're gonna do one more. We're gonna put this guy seated all the way here, and if you can tell, it's perpendicular to, I don't like to put them in here because when it tightens it could slip out of here, so I put them perpendicular, just like that. Slide that guy on. They make all kinds of different bolt styles that you can put on, but I've just found that this one seems to work just as good as just about anything. So that's what I use. Give it a good tighten. There we go, okay. Once we figure out exactly where we want to be, we're going to tighten one of these down. Okay. We're going to figure out that's where I want to be. Tighten that down. And now, at this point, you can screw it to the concrete. Okay. Unfortunately, in here we have a void under our concrete, and we got an exceptionally large lip. So this ain't going nowhere, no matter how hard we tighten it. And so, as far as this flange, even though it's loose like this, it's going to be okay because this flange is so big that this thing is not going to tighten up, and it's not going to turn either, at all. And I know I have a lot of first-hand experience with these flanges, and they've never pulled up on me, they've never come undone, they've never twisted, nothing like that. Once I tighten them down, they're good. Okay, now this style of wax, some people like it, some people don't. Everybody's got their own opinion on it, and it's fine. Some are valid opinions, some are not, in my opinion. But the reason why I do like these, okay, people have said that they don't use these because they splash, or they've noticed that they splash. I personally have not noticed that, and I like to use it because it kind of redirects the waste down into here, and I've never noticed a problem with them clogging anything or blocking anything or hanging anything up, or I've never seen that problem before. So I'm sure it exists, but I have not experienced it, and so I feel like it's just as good to install this, and I always double up. And the reason is because you want to be able to smush it down into place. And so I always have used 2 wax rings to set these toilets, and I've never encountered any issues whatsoever. So let's keep it there. Now we'll bring our toilet in. Okay, there we go. Got a new battery in. I think the other battery died. So I'm getting the braided hose in here. I need to go grab some more gloves, but this is just a water line, so go grab some more gloves when I'm ready to do. Go. Now we'll just kind of move this over here so that we can plop it in. Now, very carefully. So we've got a gasket up here. Make sure we're seated in there all the way. Got our bolts. So these bolts slide in here. Kind of lock in place there. There we go. All right. That's one thing I like about these Kohlers is they kind of already come like pre-assembled, and it's got a square inside of there holding it in. Same thing on the other side. It's like a carriage bolt. Okay. So I believe this one is going to be 1/2 inch. Yep. So let's see if we can use this ratcheting wrench. Change to here. Okay. And you can see it in there. The metal tapped the porcelain and it's tight enough. You don't want to go any tighter than that. So spin this backwards. Listen to that. You can hear that click. You can hear that click, and it caught the first thread. So when you hear the click, that's when you know you're right up in there. seems like it's a little bit loose. Let's see why that is. It's got the gasket. That's all good. Okay, well, it's in there. Just give it a turn. Should be using a crescent. I don't think I have my bigger crescent though. Oh, I do. Let's see if this one's even big enough. Oh, perfect. Much better. You always want to use a crescent. I don't even know why I use those channel locks on this. I'm going to turn it and make sure that inside of here that it's not turning as well. Seems okay. Alright. So good. Put the seat on you. Good. Nothing leaking at the base. I'm going to cut these off. I like to personally cut them pretty low. Thanks for watching.